special guest,
the great Leon Russell.
This is the Power Motion Picnic Hour. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Power Motion Picnic Hour, the first Power Motion Picnic Hour of 2024. As always, I'm your host, Dave, and as always, alongside me is...
Trevor.
Oh, Trevor, what's going on? Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. I'm doing well. Doing well. It's been a good start. Glad to be back on pod, and yeah, I feel like we got a lot to talk about.
Think so, yeah. It's been a good start to the year so far. The only thing that's been missing on my end is the Power Motion Picnic Hour. So I'm glad we're finally closing that loop.
Here we are. Yeah.
Getting back to business as usual.
It's an important milestone to reach each year. First episode of Power Motion Picnic Hour.
It's a newer tradition. It took us until May last year.
That's right.
And then after decades of a DNF or DNS, or I don't even know.
I think it would be a DNS. Yeah. This is also so it's the penultimate episode of season 2.
Oh wow, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, so even as we're coming off a big year and running episode, which we, a lot of exciting updates, we're going to be coming right into season 2 closer.
The season finale.
The finale, yeah.
That's with a possible cliffhanger ending. Who knows? We're into that kind of thing. So yeah, it's one thing after another over here.
Yeah.
I was just listening to another popular podcaster, and an episode of that podcast, it was the 1500th episode.
Was this Radio Lab?
No, no, I don't think well, I don't know how many Radio Lab has. They have a lot. I bet you they don't have that many. Although Radio Lab started as like a radio show, not right? Like a terrestrial.
Yeah, I guess it depends when you classify it as a podcast.
Yeah, NPR or whatever, they were kind of podcasting for years before podcasting was officially a thing.
Yeah. They used to just call it radio, so much like us. That's our lineage as well.
That's right. This used to just be a radio show. So really, we're pretty similar to Radio Lab in a lot of ways. And we also record at least half of our show is recorded very nearby, because they're about two blocks from where I live.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I walk by all the time. Sometimes there's people at the desk and a studio full and stuff like that.
Pop in and see if any of them run.
Yeah, exactly. See if we can get a little crossover, or maybe we could just like poach some guests on the way out. like sometimes in the old days, if you went to if a bigger punk rock band was playing in town, and you'd go to the show, and then when you were leaving, there'd be someone outside handing out flyers for like a smaller punk rock show, like a more local show.
Yeah.
We could do that. We could poach the guests from WNYC for this more local version of whatever radio.
It reminds me a little bit of the time a sometimes listener and I many years ago went and saw the great Leon Russell play in I think Northampton, Massachusetts. It was out west somewhere. We didn't venture that way much back in that time period, and saw the man at a rather intimate venue with like a dinner served, and we were about 20 years younger than at least the next youngest attendee, which is pretty awesome. And we kind of lingered after the show because I think everybody else had to probably, head home or whatever, or they'd already seen Leon many times. And we sort of like hung by the tour bus a little bit, and like out he came. And he was quite old at this point too. Although he'd go on to put in another good 15 years. And
oh wow! So this was a long time ago then.
This was a while ago. Yeah,
I remember Leon Russell passed away over 10 years ago, I think.
I thought it was more recent than that.
I don't know. We'd have to look that up.
Well, without knowing the date of his passing and with no possible way to confirm, I'd say I'd put this around probably the 2006 time period.
Okay. I never saw Leon Russell, although I am a big fan. And I actually once gave my parents tickets to see Leon Russell as a present.
Oh, I wonder if they were at the show.
That show was in Boston.
Yeah.
And it was with I think the opening act was Dave Mason.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. Pretty solid bill.
It's a good bill. Yeah, so our our encounter sort of culminated with like a nod and like a nod back. That was the extent of it.
That's pretty good.
Little
We'll take
we
it.
Yeah, we didn't at the time have the podcast, or else I certainly would have asked him about running.
Yeah, Leon, just one question. Do you run?
Do you
No.
run?
Do you know if Dave Mason runs? Um, how about Steve Winwood? Somebody's got to run back there.
Tell Dave Rawlings to empty the mailbag, please.
We're transitioning to older musical references this year. ELO is actually just a stepping stone, and
It was a little,
yeah,
yeah, a
in the
little,
70s, we're going back to the 60s.
little did everyone know. Well, I mean, so I think that's a good amount of the typical off track rambling to start, and it does remind me of a mailbag I forgot to open last time, which
Oh,
was a response about ELO.
oh wow.
And yeah, and this listener said, yes, they know the ELO songs as they heard them, but they did not know they were by ELO, and it was quite a treat to sort of put them all together.
ELO's got a lot of big hits,
They do.
a lot of catchy tunes.
A lot of people just know it as like, oh, that song.
That song, yeah, oh yeah. I just thought that was Super Tramp or Badfinger. There's like a list of bands that people know the songs, but they don't know, you know,
Yeah,
they don't know.
yeah,
Like, I think people these days they don't know a Badfinger song, but they do when they hear it. They're like, "Oh, that song, yeah,
yeah.
yeah."
Badfinger, another band with many great songs, like similar to ELO in that regard.
Really, we're just naming 70s bands that were trying to be the Beatles. And so that's that category basically, like because they were trying to write really catchy songs and they were doing pretty well at it, you know.
Well, Badfinger was on Apple, weren't they? Apple
Yes,
Records. Yeah,
correct. Uh-huh.
yeah. Hmm.
Yep. There we go. I
There we
don't
go.
know what label ELO was on.
I don't think it was Apple.
I don't think so. Um,
That didn't stop them.
no, they did great. I was just
Yeah.
I was just thinking recently I need to get an ELO t-shirt.
We don't often, yeah, I mean,
So look out, world.
um, so I got a couple pieces of business can maybe dive right into.
Let's do it. Let's consider talking about running.
Yeah, how about, well, first I'd love to hear about your week in running because
Okay.
or maybe even your year in running because it's been a little over a week.
We're recording on the 8th day of the year, and I sure have done a lot of running. I kicked off the year with as I mentioned last year, I did a 4 mile New York Roadrunners race at midnight in Central Park.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, it was amazing. It was so fun. It was magical. Ran with a female gear shed testing correspondent who was testing out a new pair of Adidas shoes that she loves. I forget which ones. And then a friend joined us as well. And yeah,
Very nice.
it was pretty good. It was 40 degrees, so not too bad. Um, at midnight, the gun went off. There wasn't a gun. The horn went off, and they shot off tons of fireworks, and we all just ran around. And it was actually pretty great because it was like, I don't know, it was total bedlam out there. The races are really well organized usually. Everyone's in corrals. You're spaced out based on your predicted pace. I don't know. It's in the morning,
Yeah.
so everyone's
Yeah.
just kind of waking up anyway and stretching. But this was at midnight. It was New Year's Eve, and just it was very crowded. It was just like people running, like kind of bumping into each other, laughing. It was very, very, very fun. It was a total magical way to start the year, and maybe the first time since I don't even know how long that I didn't, have like a sip of champagne at midnight
Yeah.
or anything like that. Like I did something completely different, which was great because like what a great way to celebrate such a at least a monumental personal year in running for you and I, the start of the podcast. And I did my first marathon, and you ran all sorts of crazy mountain runs. So a nice way to kind of end the year and start the new one. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was amazing. That was just like that was just so awesome. And then like 2 days ago, I did another Roadrunners race. I did a 10K in Central Park. That was nice. That was really fun, and just very cold this time, but that was fun too. So I've already done two, community races.
It's great.
Yeah, and other than that, just a bunch of runs, just a bunch of regular, 4 to 7 or 8 mile runs. So
It's a phenomenal start to the year in running.
A great start.
Yeah,
How about how's
two races. You literally started the year running. I mean, that's it couldn't get, it doesn't get better than that.
it was funny. I had such a fun New Year's Eve last year, and but nothing crazy, just kind of hanging out at a local spot. Actually, hanging out at a local bar where I think we conceived of this podcast, you and
I
I.
I know the one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I spent last New Year's Eve there, and for a moment almost considered going back, but then of course you can't just try to create past memories all over again.
right. And
You'll just be it won't happen. You'll be trying to do this thing, and you're like, okay, now we have to do this, and so instead you have to do something new. Um,
much
like
like yeah, much like running, the key is to stay in motion.
exactly, never stop moving. Um, yeah, I think I had a physical therapist once say that to me as I left and saw him for the last time ever. Because I've got a pretty bad back, and I've had a couple of physical therapists over the years. And one of them, as I was leaving, I think I was getting in the elevator, which has turned out to be the last time I ever saw him. He just like yelled. He's just like, "Don't stop moving," and then that was it. I was like, "All right." So, but I haven't needed a physical therapist since. Back's been holding up.
Do you know what they call physical therapists in the UK?
Physio.
Correct. Yeah.
Nice. Yes.
I feel like that's a much better term for some reason.
Should start saying that. I think I only know that from watching soccer.
Gone to see the physio.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what a great start. Yeah. So, yeah, on my end, it's been a little bit less eventful, but I've been happy with the running I've been able to do so far. I've been able to start to get in like more like 4, 6, 8 mile runs here and there. It had been a
Nice.
little while since the race last September, sort of things had fallen off, and when I could get out, it seemed to be shorter. So still not like super regular for a few reasons, but happy with the running I'm doing. And I did, in an exciting development, pick up a used treadmill
That,
last Monday.
that's huge. That's a whole life changer right there.
Yeah, and well, I can tell the story about it briefly.
Oh,
I
please, yeah.
So it was basically like so after New Year's Day, I took the next day off because having young apprentices around soaking it all up, you end up not really you're doing a lot of training with the apprentices. You're not doing quite as much running or other things for yourself. So I took the next day off before starting up work again, made that like treadmill day, like got the
Yeah.
treadmill in a nearby town.
I think that's a
Figured,
British holiday, right?
is it?
No, it's not. They don't have it. They just have holidays that we don't have. That's all.
The treadmill day.
Yeah, treadmill day.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the day after New Year's. I was
Yeah.
like, most of my British colleagues just took the whole week off.
Yeah, yeah. They have all sorts of holidays. It's a bank holiday.
Yeah, it's a
I'm gonna
bank
start
holiday.
saying that, like, when it,
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
no. I think it's when like the banks are open,
Yeah. I
which I think
thought
also
it's when the banks were closed.
I think it corresponds with oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When
But
the banks
like,
are not open.
but why are they closed? Just like there's
I
a
think it
million
corresponds
reasons.
with the stock market.
Hmm. They got one of those over there.
Though they might call that the exchange calendar. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
um yeah, big old treadmill. This is like a commercial Precor, and it's like by the sellers described it as weighing 280 pounds, and we had to get it down
Oh my God.
from like a second floor above a garage, and like took three of us plus they called the neighbor.
That's good. His local expertise about like
Yeah.
he'd moved heavy things in and out of that
Just
building
another
before.
guy to weigh in on the other guy's like roping job in the back that was being used to like lower it down the
Yeah.
stairs as
That's
I
the
took the
best.
heavy end at the
Oh my
bottom.
God. The best role is the guy just criticizing how other people are doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I love doing that one.
So much trials and tribulation, got it home, got it set up. Like had to we had to disassemble it and then reassemble it. So like a lot has gone into it at this point. It's the end of the day now. Um, fire it up, like, okay, it turns on, start literally on the second step, not only the tread, but the entire room I'm in just blows out.
Oh
Power,
no.
power.
Oh no.
And and so like, for the homeowners out there, will know that you go check the circuit breaker,
Sure.
nothing switched. Okay. Spent the next, like, I don't know, hour diagnosing it as being like one of those CFI like buttons that are on like the outlets. Like if you look in your bathroom, there's like the
Oh yeah.
reset button.
Yeah.
And those are designed, as I learned through my um Google searching and like Reddit post reading during that time, that those are designed to like prevent like shocks, like as like a backup or even before it gets to the breaker. So like it
Ah,
wasn't triggering the breaker, but it was triggering that. Anyway, the tread is still not operational.
it's getting there.
Yeah, so
How
phase
old?
three, got the electrician over today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, who
How
will be back
old?
to
How old of
God,
a Precor is this? I'm
th-
just,
th-
because I can picture treadmills throughout the years, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
and I know, and since I have a nice gym membership, I know what the really modern ones look like. But I can but sometimes, like, since I travel so much and I run on hotel treadmills, I still run on some pretty old treadmills.
Yeah, it's probably a good 8 years old.
Oh, that's pretty new.
Yeah, 8 to 10, I'd say.
It sounds heavy, so it sounds gym grade.
Yeah, they said it was
Yeah.
commercial grade. So, I mean, yeah, I like it because it doesn't have, like, I think it's a pretty expensive treadmill new, um, but it doesn't have like a lot of bells and whistles. It's just like is a treadmill, goes up to 15 degrees, got like a big old brute of a motor,
That's all you
big
need.
solid deck. Like
Sure.
it's what I'm looking for.
You don't need a video of you running around, Basel,
No,
like,
no.
or like, yeah, you running through the hills of Zurich.
I've done that, and not like actually, but like on a treadmill screen. I was unimpressed.
Yeah, me too. I do always love it when you get to the end of that little run, even though it's usually just at a random point, like in the middle of your run. But it's
Yeah.
always, and then it just restarts somewhere else, and all of a sudden you're running around somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in Germany. I can't always identify where.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, so I hope by the time we record next, I will have an operational treadmill and I'll really be putting on the miles at that point. But
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it. I'll probably have some good treadmill runs by then because I'm traveling again. I'm back on. I've already traveled once for work since this year began.
mhm,
And actually, I had to travel to Pennsylvania and I went for a run there,
nice.
which was actually kind of great. I asked the front desk at the hotel if they had any recommendations for local runs. And the woman working the front desk used to live down the road. And so she told me where she used to run.
Oh, nice.
It was perfect, yeah. And so there was a park nearby, and she's like, there's a big hill, and I'm like, perfect.
Yes.
It was the steepest hill I've ever run up.
Was it really?
So much so that I think I might have run up the wrong hill. But I ran, I don't know, I think I ran probably about 7 miles, maybe 7.5, maybe 7.
Nice.
Yeah. I didn't bring any kind of anything with me, and I'm lucky I found my way back. But but it was I didn't stray too confusingly.
You
Uh,
almost went, special guest Jesse on us.
yeah, I tried. I certainly tried. And that was actually a great run. Actually, I should have mentioned probably my best run of the year was I went on a second run on New Year's Day, like a proper New Year's Day run.
Yep.
Probably about like 13 hours after the first one. I was just like riding that high and I wanted to get out there again. So I
You
went for
could
a run in the afternoon on the first.
That's a double session. You can do when you do two
Basically.
two runs in one day. That's what they call it, a double.
Yeah. Two a days, that's what I call it.
Nice. A
Yeah.
good old two a day.
I had kind of done it two a day already because I'd gone to the gym on New Year's Eve just to like lift weights. And
Yep.
then I went running at midnight. And then I was back out there at like 2 in the afternoon on New Year's Day. I was just excited.
Trifecta.
Yeah, I was just really, really happy running
Well, good
around.
for you. Yeah. Endorphins flowing. And so I did have one other, I guess, comment. I've been planning out my race calendar. So you've already run two races.
Yeah.
I've got two races tentatively planned.
Is one of them the Krampus Classic?
One of them is the Krampus Classic on
That
January 27th. That one's not tentative. That one's
that's
that one's
happening.
locked in. That's happening. Um, we get closer to it. I did recently learn there's a whole like the Krampus run is actually a thing, and there's like a whole like tradition around it in parts of the world.
I think the 27th is the same day as the next round of the FA Cup in England.
Oh,
Since we're talking about England a lot, maybe we could partner with a team in the FA Cup.
yeah, that would be great.
Maybe we'll reach out to one, and one of the teams that's still in it.
We went to two very different places in our mind. I was worried that we were going to lose participants to the FA Cup. You were thinking sponsorship.
Yeah,
Much
exactly.
bigger, much bigger.
I was thinking we could get a team. I don't know. I don't know who's still in it. I mean, I do know some, but
Yeah.
everybody's favorite team, Wrexham,
Yep. Yep.
playing the Blackburn Rovers next.
Nice. Nice. Um, let's see. Yeah, and then so race number two is TBD, but I've got sort of
Oh,
yeah, probably three under consideration. Um, the redo of the Kilkenny from last September, or two others. So I'll provide some. I'll share some updates as the thoughts sort of come together a bit more.
okay. I can't wait to hear. I'm sure our listeners can't wait to hear. And maybe if our listeners want, they could write in suggestions for other
Yeah,
races that you or I or Jesse Chandler should compete in. Um, I actually wait. Did I mention this last time, or did I do this since the last episode? I signed up for the LA Marathon.
you did mention that. That is
Okay,
amazing. So
I'm
that's
in.
March.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day,
Yeah.
March
So that's
17th.
I'm wondering if that's been, one of the factors that's led to this boon in running for you.
It's I really got to get moving. I really got. I don't have a training calendar or anything like that, but I have to. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't run over 8 miles in a while.
You've done it. You've done it before. You've done marathons and you've considered doing many more. So,
I
you know,
know. I got. I really got. I guess I'm traveling for work again on Friday. I'm gonna wake up Saturday and be in Wales, and so I started looking at like the Google map of Cardiff, and I think I'm gonna have to like
yeah.
map out like a 9 mile run out there or something.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it should be cool. I'm gonna try to find one with hills and stuff. I think it's all hilly. I think.
You're doing it on Google Map. That's right.
Is that the wrong way
Um,
to the wrong way to look at I also Googled like
no,
running routes around Cardiff.
I mean, a more common way might be to use like Strava or like All Trails. Like they're like with prescribed routes, but it's kind of cool. What I'm saying is it's kind of cool to do a Google map. It sort of it fits your,
Yeah.
run by feel type
I
of mentality.
I could just ask the people at the front desk at the hotel. I could say, "Hey, any of you used to live down the street from here?"
Any of you
Uh,
run?
yeah, and if they do, I already found a running store in Cardiff too, so I could just go over there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's the first thing I do.
I think Cardiff is probably a ways from the mountains, but they've got some nice mountains, I think, in sort of the western part of Wales.
Yeah, I think Cardiff is more Eastern Wales,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I've never been to Wales.
Yep. Another geography detour. Oh, and that reminds me, before I forget, and I probably should have done this earlier, a couple corrections
Okay. Yeah,
to
that
report. Yeah.
no shocker there.
Yeah. So had referenced the 1979 ELO album as having ELO's letters on the cover.
Yeah.
Popular runner Jim Pergolesi um, had said that he thought shortening it and going to an acronym was a disservice to the great name, the Electric Light Orchestra.
That's right.
And I sort of said, well, they kind of did it themselves. And then we talked about that a bit. In fact, the ELO album cover was from 1975's Face the Music, not 1979's
Oh,
Recovery.
I love Face the Music.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's got strange magic.
Yeah.
That's probably one of those songs that people don't know is an ELO song, but they know the song.
And when they hear it, they're like, I love this song.
Yeah, or like Evil Woman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a big hit.
Yep. Is Evil Woman on that one? I don't know. We
Well,
better.
I think
Is
so.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty confident.
get the interns to make sure. Oh, and this was a big one. Book of the Year.
You got
Haruki
the title. You
Murakami.
said the title wrong.
Oh, completely wrong. And you let it slide.
I know. I liked it. I liked that you said the name of the book wrong. I don't know. I thought that was funny.
I blame Google.
You said I don't
Why I
know
run.
why I run, and I think it's called. I don't even know what it's called. Even though I have, I think it's called what I talk about when I talk about running.
Yes,
Yeah,
correct.
which is,
So
I mean, it's
we've
similar.
set the record straight on that.
I'm glad you did. You get called out on that one, or you fact checked that one yourself?
I think I fact checked that one myself.
Some doubt
Actually, you
crept
know what
in.
happened is I went to buy the book, and then I
Oh,
said, "Wait, where is this? Where's this book? Why I Run?" And it was not there. And then I saw the actual book, and I'm like, "Oh God,
yeah. It's
another."
that's not what I said at all.
It's not what I said.
It's definitely not what I said. Um,
Yeah,
that's yeah. I love that book. Like only running book I've ever read.
I've got another one for possibly to suggest. I haven't read it yet, but I've got it kind of queued up for a possible book club.
Okay, cool. Can't wait. Yeah, I could. I'll read it. Could
Cool.
probably. I
I know
probably
you
need.
will.
Yeah, I need more inspiration than just Murakami bragging about how fast he is.
You'll probably read it a little bit faster than I will too. So I'll get a head start. I'll see if it's any good, and then I'll recommend it.
There's always listening to a book while running, like a
Oh,
right.
very good call.
A while ago, I was thinking about doing that. I might have mentioned this a while ago. To that book, Running with the Kenyans,
Hmm.
which I haven't done, but I always just kind of thought that would be a good idea.
I do listen to a lot of my running podcasts when running.
Yeah,
It's like kind of a good inspiration. You kind of like, especially like some of the elite running podcasts, they're talking about all this crazy stuff, kind of get you psyched up. Like, yeah, like I'm doing that too.
yeah. That's I should try that. I haven't listened to a running podcast aside from this one in a very long time. I don't even know in the last. I just listened to Radio Lab. This one football podcast I like.
Then the songs that explain the 90s.
Yeah, I do listen to that. There was just one I listened to that was very good. Uh, I think it was the one about Santeria.
Okay. Yeah, that explains a decent amount of the 90s.
But I didn't like the guest, and I turned it off before she came on because I'd heard her before.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that. But the best thing about the one about Santeria, he like remarked about this at some point, is he'd never talked about the song Santeria during the whole thing. Like maybe in the guest portion he did, but in like his whole hour long like build up, he talked about Sublime a lot, and of course he mostly just talks about all sorts of things from the 90s.
Hmm.
But yeah, he never mentioned or he never said anything about the song Santeria, basically.
We're occasionally guilty of that relative to running
Yep.
here on our running podcast.
Exactly. We'll cover what he misses, and then hopefully someone else will pick up the slack for us.
Yep, yep. Um, and so should we go to mailbag?
Yeah, let's do it. I think it's time.
All right. You want to start us off or?
I don't really have a lot of mailbag, but all I have is somebody sent me a cool video of a new pair of Mizuno running shoes.
Ooh.
And I looked at that video and I was like, yes, these are cool. and I've enjoyed running in my Mizuno Wave Inspire 19. So looking at this video of race day Mizunos, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with that, but it was great. So
Race day Mizunos. Well, you've got a training pair, your daily runner, and then strap on a pair of really fast
yeah.
race shoes.
Yeah, what are these? These are the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. It's
Ooh,
it's a premium Mizuno marathon racing shoe.
carbon plate.
I don't know. I'm just looking at a video of someone's feet.
Going fast.
They're no, they're putting them on. They're tying them. They're like showing how stable they are. I guess I don't know. I recommend everybody look up the Mizuno Wave Rebellion Pro 2. They're pretty wild looking.
We'll absolutely do that.
We could share a picture too on our Instagram.
That sounds great. That
Yeah,
sounds great.
that's all I have in the med pack.
Well, so a little bit of a busy week with um, a lot of interplay between special guests and listeners, actually.
Oh,
Sort of with Power Motion Picnic Hour being just sort of this conduit,
the
which is really,
expanded universe.
yeah, yeah. So let me just see if I can pull this one up. So we did have an outbound mailbag to special guest Cole Crosby. A listener wrote in and said, um, was wondering if Cole had ever considered the Long Trail FKT. Thought it would be maybe the supported FKT on the Long Trail would be a pretty cool
Is
effort.
is the
Yeah,
Long Trail Vermont like from north to south?
I think it's the full, yeah, I think it's basically the full state. South,
Wow.
well, you can go in either
Yeah.
direction. I want to say most go south to north, but I'm not positive.
Okay.
Um, maybe that's not right. I don't know. Anyway, like one way would probably be easier than the other based on like there might be a slightly different elevation change. So it's possible that one starts a little bit higher, but
Yeah.
also I think even more than that, like sort of like do you get over the difficult parts like at what part in the run?
Sure.
At least that's how I'd think about it. But I'm not in the FKT holders are not in danger of me taking the the trophy anytime
Yeah, even if
soon.
you figure it out, you won't be able to execute on that knowledge. So.
Correct, correct. And so Cole says the long trail is awesome, but very challenging. Maybe would consider it, just not on the 3-year plan just yet.
Ah, okay. I like it. Good answer.
Yeah,
Not a no.
yeah, and not a no, but also very interesting that Cole is thinking out 3 years in terms of running goals because here I am trying to figure out what race I'm doing, and
Oh
what
yeah.
one race to do in the next 6 months after Krampus.
Yeah, exactly. And here I am like signing up for a marathon and realizing I have under 3 months to train. That's how I like to do it though.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
The,
different approaches.
one of the things that kind of predated this podcast was you would remember this, but our listeners wouldn't, of course, because we weren't recording when we had this conversation. But last year I suggested, or over a year ago, that you and I run the Philadelphia Marathon without training at all.
Which we almost did. I was a little bit overconfident in hindsight, thinking at the time that my fitness was such that I could just go and run a marathon.
Yeah, I think I was up to like 10-mile runs at the time, but like, so it wasn't like I was a non-runner, but like, jump from 10 to a marathon is pretty crazy. And I also thought, I was like, yeah, I could probably make most of it and maybe stroll in the last couple miles.
Yeah, I could have finished a marathon, I'm quite positive, but it would not have probably involved continuous running if that's part
Yeah.
of your definition.
And when you look at something like the New York Marathon, there are plenty of people doing it at those paces.
Yeah,
Some I think don't even run at all.
it's like it's like Billy Joel or Leon Russell once said, it's all running to me, or it's still
It's
running to
still
me.
running to me.
It's
Yeah.
still running to me.
Yeah. He said that as the last person crossed the finish line at the New York Marathon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then quite a bit of mailbag here, sort of relative to Brendan, special guest Brendan
Oh,
and his great appearance. Yeah. So let me see here. What do we got?
that was wonderful having Brendan on to close out the year. A lot of
Oh,
because
it was phenomenal, and he
he had a
pointed
lot of
us
updates.
to East Pasadena. His great music video of him running, him training like Rocky style, like doing jump roping and stuff in the basement, and then going out and running and taking houseplants from around the neighborhood.
I forgot to watch that. I gotta. I
Oh,
saw
you
he
gotta
sent that
watch
to us.
it.
I gotta watch it. I've been real busy doing 2-a-days, so I
I
haven't had the
challenge
time.
I challenge any co-host, listener, special guest to name a better running music video.
That's our okay. That's our challenge for next
It's our
week.
challenge. Yeah.
Not name the best,
Um,
but name a better one than
a, a
Pasadena.
East Pasadena. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, we had a listener write in and say, "Ha, I was just in East Pasadena today,"
Nice.
or
Great.
something along those lines. That's sort of paraphrased.
It's a great place.
Yeah, I've never been.
I don't think I have either, but but I've been all over it. You know, that's not too far from where Brendan lives and that part of LA, which is great. It's beautiful out
Yeah,
there. So
yeah.
it's like that's like east of where he lives, I think.
Is it?
I think it's
Yeah.
pretty straight east of Echo Park, but we could hit that up in the next corrections next week if we have to.
You should sync up with Brendan, do a little run when you're out there. Although I guess you're gonna be busy, marathoning and then probably pretty beat up from the
I'm
marathon. But
I'm definitely I'm probably not gonna do another run while I'm out there, but I would like to try to teach him to throw a baseball. So I do
yes,
want to
very
do that.
on a very special episode of the Power Motion Picnic Hour.
I might do that at the finish line. Uh, or maybe, I mean, like, we're going to probably run near where he lives. Maybe I'll just take a quick break.
Just Brendan's just waiting there, like tossing a ball into his mitt, just like waiting for you to come
Yeah.
by.
Well,
Like,
he could run with me because it's actually pretty close to the start. Because it starts at Dodger Stadium, and so he's in
oh,
Echo Park,
nice.
and he's probably 3 miles into the marathon or something like that.
He was going to offer some assistance too.
Oh, that's right.
To get
He's a
out.
little early in the race for assistance, but that's fine.
It's okay.
I know I need somebody. I need somebody in, I don't know, in Century City or something, someone a little deeper.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and so Brendan had reached out to the listener asking for advice on getting a six pack. Haven't heard back on that yet, but also just running ideas for 2024.
Okay.
And so, well, we sort of compile the other submissions. I wanted to offer one up, which is the same idea I offer to anyone, which is go for a trail run.
I love it. Why not?
Yeah,
There's plenty of
like
trails near him, I think.
yeah, like not, but like not Elysian Park, which is
Oh,
a common run, but like branch out like into the hills surrounding, like into the forest.
yeah, like drive somewhere.
Like I don't know what's close, like Mammoth or Shasta or something.
I don't know. I mean, I know things that are close, but I don't know what the closest. I would go to like Topanga.
There you go.
There, yeah. How about that? I like
Um,
naming LA stuff. I mean, LA's full of hills, so it's a cool place to run.
Mount Wittenberg.
Yeah. How about out by Riverside?
Yeah.
I just saw a TV show about blue zones where people live to be like 1 million years old, and they're all around the world, but one of them was in California near there. And what were they? They were Seventh Day Adventists.
Oh,
And one of the reasons they live a long time is that they're very health conscious and they like exercise and stuff.
they run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if they run. The show is mostly showing the videos of like older folks like playing pickleball and ping pong and like doing like swimming pool aerobics and stuff. But the younger members of the community probably run.
The secret that we've unlocked the secret to great longevity. Follow what the Seventh Day Adventists do, and just do that.
Yeah, yeah, they nailed it. Ping pong.
Yeah, yeah. So we're running a little short on time. I do have a gear shed.
All right, yeah, let's do it. We are running low, but let's squeeze it in.
I don't know if I can do it. I think we either need to do it. We need to either extend our time or do it on the next episode.
All right, let's do it in the next episode.
All right, we'll do that. We'll do song of the week. We'll I'm sure have a lot of new mailbag to sift through, and
I'll
it's gonna be
report back. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
yeah, just final of season two. It'll be exciting.
Finale of season 2, and I guess we're gonna find out what's the deal with Wales for
What's
once
the
and
deal
for
with
all.
whales?
I'll either be calling in from Wales or reporting back after just getting home. I don't know when we're recording, but
And then at some point, both us and the listeners will find out who the first special guest of the year will be.
nice. So yeah, it's a huge
Pretty
reveal.
soon.
I can't wait to find out. So much happening. So excited to be back. Wow. Until next time.
Onward.
This is the Power Motion Picnic Hour, your favorite of the few, with a mile of opinions that we'll gladly share with you. This is the Power Motion Picnic Hour, you deserve nothing less. The Power Motion Picnic Hour, sometimes a special guest. Say your name, special guest.
Dave Mason.
This is the Power Mode.